I was in during was it 2007, 2008 election? I went to the White House because I was called on the carpet by George W. Bush because I was not happy with the war and the way it was going. And I had made some comment about, I don't remember even what it was, but I made some comment on the air that, hey, left, you want to impeach him? Here's the thing you impeach him on, because this is actually impeachable. And that didn't sit well with the Bush administration. They didn't like that. And I get a call on the way home from the studios, and it's the White House. And this is the first time the White House had ever called me without me reaching out first. And I get a call, and it's a 202 number, and I'm like, it's 1414. 202, I can't remember, 458 or something, 1414. And I remember 202, that's Washington, D.C., and 1414, I remember that's the number of the White House. And I look at it for a while, and I'm like, I think that's the White House. And I pick it up. Mr. Beck? Yes? The president would like to see you in the Oval tomorrow morning at 10. Now, I'm on the air at 10 o'clock in the morning. Do you think you could make that? I didn't even know what to say. I literally held the phone away from my head, and I looked at I'm driving, and I look at the phone, and I look at the road, and I don't even know what to say. And I just, I said, well, hang on, let me check. Let me check. And I put the phone back up next to my ear, and I'm like, okay, looks good. Yeah, I can be there. Hang up the phone. It was freaky. I get there, and the first thing the president says, I sit in the chair, in the Zelensky chair, and the first thing the president says to me is, and laced with profanity. A lot of people think they know how they can be the effing president. Well, they have no effing idea how to be the effing president. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be the longest hour of my life. And he read me the riot act. After that was all over and he had that out of his system, we stood up at the end, and it was the day that Barack Obama had said that if he were president, he would just fly our planes over the border into Pakistan, and he would just bomb Pakistan. Well, this is at the point where Pakistan is kind of helping us, okay? They're not our friends. They're more frenemies, but they're kind of helping us at this point. And he says, Barack Obama says, and if he would have done that, the whole coalition of the willing, all of that crap would have gone right out the window. And so I said to the president as I'm walking out, and he's standing by the Oval or by the Resolute desk, and I said, Mr. President, I said, I don't know if you heard this, but today, Barack Obama, and he said, oh, I heard that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. And I said, okay. And he said, trust me, Glenn, whoever comes into this office, no matter what party they're in, they're going to sit behind this desk, and they're going to realize, because they're going to be advised by exactly the same people that have been advising me, that they really have no choice. This is what they have to do. And he said, have a good day. And I'm like, holy cow. I walked out, and do you remember me calling you after that, Stu?
Yes.
And I was freaked out. I was like, this is not good. The president isn't really the president. The president is just listening to all these advisors who were advising the last president and the president before that, and it's all State Department stuff, and they're just executing a long plan. What difference does it make who we have in the office if that's true?
Yeah,
remember that?
One specific part of that you didn't mention was, because he was very angry at you, but that part of the conversation was meant to make you feel good, right?
Yes.
It wasn't like an angry thing. It was hey, it's okay, calm down, all the decisions will remain the same. And it's like, that didn't calm you down much.
No, it made it worse.
Yes.
And so why do I bring this story up, which I've told before? Why do I bring this story up? I bring this story up because when Donald Trump sat at the table and said, just going to get old Vlad on the phone, and he stands up, walks out of the room with all the world leaders, And he just picks up the phone and calls Vladimir Putin and says, hey, I just want to keep you up to speed of what's going on. He didn't ask for permission. He didn't have anybody whispering in his ear. He's leading the State Department. He's leading the world. He's keeping his own counsel. That hasn't been done by a president in I don't know how long. And it's why we're once again the leaders of the world. Because these advisors, all of these doctors and professors and, people who have been in the State Department their whole life and know better than everybody, Donald Trump has said to them, shut up. I've seen your record. It doesn't work. We've been doing it for 100 years. We're losing credibility. We're losing money. We're losing power and influence. I don't want to hear it. This is the direction we're going. And he didn't have the juice to be able to fire all of those people last time. And he put the wrong people in position. Now at the State Department is Rubio. And I got to tell you, Rubio is one of the last guys I would have picked. I would have thought Rubio was a big globalist. Look at who Rubio has turned out to be. So the two things that are happening are really based on one thing, and that is the President of the United States is in charge of his administration. The President of the United States keeps his own counsel. The President of the United States listens to his own gut. For the first time that I have seen since Ronald Reagan, and Ronald Reagan did it in one place, and that was the Soviet Union. He knew the difference between good and evil, and he called it, and he didn't care what anybody said. Donald Trump is doing this in example after example after example. He's keeping his own counsel, and he is telling his people, this is what I'm going to do. Find the constitutional way to do it, because this is what has to be done. And he's not taking no for an answer. And he's not kowtowing to the people who have been there forever. Oh, Mr. President, you have to listen to this man. He's not listening to him. If it doesn't make sense to him, he's not listening to him. And he is not waiting for permission from anyone. That's the takeaway from this last 4 days. America is leading because we actually have a leader who knows who he is, knows what he wants to do, and is not going to take no for an answer unless it's unconstitutional. He gets it done. That in 6 months? That's a remarkable development.